Hello, 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 good people. Hello, good people. I am Dr. Hollie Kelly, and this is Dr. Kelly's Perspective for Friday, the last Friday of the month, Friday, August 24th, 2018. Okay, as we close down this month, I realized that I hadn't spoken about it publicly, I guess, like this, but last month end of June, early July, the world was captivated by the Thai soccer team of young boys and their coach who were trapped in the cave with the monsoonal rains going, and it was literally days on end when we didn't know what was going on with them. Then we found out. Then the whole operation, the whole rescue operation. And finally, thank God, it was an absolute miracle that every single one of them were rescued. They were safe. They were physically healthy. And so I like to look through the lives of those who have gone through something. I'm not telling you broke a fingernail and now you're trying to teach me something. I mean, it doesn't get more desperate than not knowing if you're going to ever see the light of day again, if you're ever going to be rescued, if anybody is ever going to know that you were there, that your family would ever see you again. That's when you think about and put things into perspective about things that are really important. Everything is relative. Good morning for all who are joining me. Everything is relative. It's all relative. And so I took from that whole experience some lesson learned, and I just wanted to drop them for you today because for me, I have been thinking about them. They were young boys, 11 to early teenage years, and even their coach was only 25, a young man. And so the first thing I learned from them, and I'm talking about how to apply it to my life. See, if you haven't been through anything, it's sort of difficult for me to listen to you. I'm just right or wrong, fair or unfair, that's just called life. If you have not been through hard times in your life, if you have not learned to get strength from what the situation that you've come through, if you haven't been knocked down, kicked down, disqualified in this thing called life, it's difficult for me to, oh yes, and what do you have to tell me? What can I learn from you? Because you haven't experienced a lot. You haven't been through, or you just faking it so good, and I can't tell that you've been through anything. But this team taught me something. So the first thing, and I pulled, I'm sure if I really thought through, there was so much more I could have learned, but I pulled 4 nuggets, golden nuggets to apply to my life. So for me, and again, thank you for all who are joining me. The number one thing, well, I don't know if these are in order, but the first thing, one of the things I learned during from the Thai soccer team, the Wild Boar soccer team, was you better get the best minds around you when you've got a real issue to attack, when you've got something real and deep, not elementary level happening in your life. You better get the best minds around you to help you figure that thing out. They went around the world and they asked for help from the very best. And sometimes we don't ask for help because we want it to look like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I got this, I can handle this. When it is a dire circumstance, if you don't get this right, you're going to drown. If you don't get this right, you're not going to survive. If you don't get this right, you're not going to be able to come through. When it's serious like that, you better get the best minds, the best experience around you, and ask for the help you need. People all around us are drowning. They're drowning in debt and they don't know how to get out. And yet they haven't asked for help. Their relationships are falling and failing, and they're not asking for help. Their livelihood, they're just drowning every aspect. They're dying physically, and they're not asking for help. So for me, that was huge. They went to the world's community and asked for the very best and the very brightest, because we didn't have a lot of room. We didn't have a lot. I didn't have the time. You don't either. They didn't have the time to worry about, well, what are people going to think if we can't do it ourselves? Nope, they ain't have time for that. So get the very best minds involved when you got a serious issue. Get out. Stop being afraid and ashamed and embarrassed to ask for help. Another point of the 4 that I learned was you better practice how you intend to perform. When the diving team, when the SEALs came together, they practiced every minute detail because they had no time to half step. They had no time. You've seen people, or we ourselves personally have been guilty of, well, this is just practice. When it really matters, I'm going to be all in. You watch me when game is time, when game time comes. You haven't built up the muscle memory to perform in excellence if you've been half-stepping on your practice. I told you earlier that one of the shows my daughter and I watch, just, because it's one of our things, is, the dance shows, the world of dance. And even just last night, we watched an episode, and J-Lo was telling the team, this is at the end, this is cutthroat time, okay? She said, you're not, well, this is my version of how she said it, you're not performing all out. You have to practice like you intend to perform out there on the stage. In other words, we ain't giving $1 million because you're cute or your little outfit looks nice. You better bring it. And that's the same way it is as it is in life. We're half stepping through life waiting for the big day. No, you're living the big day. You better practice how you want to perform so that you can develop the muscle and the courage muscles, or the muscle memory to perform the way it is going to be necessary. Okay, you got to bring it every time, even in practice. Another one of the issues are, what I learned from the wild boar team in Thailand is, you better keep moving. Do not stop. Keep moving. You got to keep moving. There was at one point when one of the youngest divers, they all had, they were bringing the boys out one at a time. They had given them some pressing forward, exactly right, periscope. But they had given them some anesthesia to make them basically be calm, so that even if they woke up, they wouldn't panic. Panic never helps a situation. You can't think straight when you are panicking. Your mind physiologically cannot even form a perfect thought, cannot even comprehend well when you're in a state of panic. And so the boy started waking up, and the diver knew he had to move. There was no time. So he had to do it on the move. He had to actually give him more anesthesia on the move. And so that was important for me to hear that. Just keep moving. Even on this, I got to stop and regroup, and I got to think. You better keep moving. You better keep the momentum going. And one of the last things, but absolutely important, don't you lose faith. Don't you lose faith. Do not lose your hope. Can you imagine being in a physically dark place where you really don't know how this is going to turn out? You don't know if you're going to be rescued. You don't know if somebody is going to come in and help you. But they refused. They had to refuse, because all of them survived. They refused to give up faith. They refused to give up hope. And whether or not we're living in a dire situation, like being stuck in a cave, and you don't even know if the outside world knows you're down there, or you're just facing another obstacle in life, or anywhere on the spectrum, don't lose faith. Do not give up on hope. So those are my takeaways and lessons learned, and I wanted to share them with you. You better get the best minds around you. Stop trying to do everything on your own. Practice how you intend to perform. Keep moving and don't lose faith. So I'm hopeful that you can use that in your everyday life. I have already needed to be reminded of those lessons learned. It is our Friday, the last Friday in the month of August. Take real good care of yourselves and learn from those who are around you. Okay?